The National Coalition of Ride-Sharing Partners, including Uber and Bolt, are threatening to shut down all ride-hailing apps, presumably in Nigeria. The driver says this to draw attention to the killings and harm caused on fellow drivers of the association. Here's a report.
This is the video of a ride-hailing driver shot by a rider. He lies in agony, perhaps in his final moments, while onlookers try in vain to get some help.
Guy, they just rob this guy now. They just rob you at they just rob him now, so we don't really know him. This is his face. Please, who know the guy? Who know the guy? I beg, who know this guy?
Such is the tale for Moses, Okafor, Akin, and Ezekiel, ride-sharing drivers who were brutally murdered by their passengers. This candlelight procession is being held in their honor. Drivers of ride-hailing apps like Uber and Bolt are gathered here to draw attention to their plight. They want the police to investigate the killings and for the app owners to profile all riders, just like drivers often have their profile in the database of the ride-hailing companies.
Okay, it's a very big challenge. It's a very big challenge because within the last 2-3 years, we've been begging our app companies, that's Uber and Bolt, for the need. It's a need. It's a demand for them to profile these riders, because it's very important that we know the people that are boarding these vehicles. Okay, we are simply here. This is supposed to be a candle night for about 4 of our drivers that were killed. Now, what we're simply asking them to do, riders profiling means when you are boarding, even if it means them linking their BVN, because the way it stands now, this e-hailing industry is very insecure for drivers. Now, anybody can pick up a random SIM. A random person can pick up any SIM and they've registered on both, and they can request. Within 5 minutes, they can request. And you have a driver coming over to pick the person up. Now, if that person ends up either stealing, snatching our vehicles, or even killing our drivers, how do we go after them? We don't even know who these individuals are. And we can't even search them.
You know, none of the drivers are happy about it. Most of us, we have families, and you come out to look for the daily bread, and you got to hear that something happened to somebody you were with yesterday. You know, it becomes a situation whereby you walk with fear. You are not sure of whether you're coming back today to meet your family. It's a life of uncertainty.
We are calling on every stakeholders to look into this crime that is ravaging Nigeria as a whole, to put a stop to it. They are families, they all came from families, you understand? So we are begging everybody that is involved to speak to app company, that is the Uber and the Uber drivers, to profile their riders, because some of these killings are from the riders.
Seated at the corner is a widow and a 3-month baby of one of the deceased, Matthew Okafor. Her silence speaks volumes. The drivers under the platform of the National Coalition of Ride-Sharing Partners have now vowed to shut down all ride-hailing apps for 24 hours across Nigeria on Tuesday, August 24. They also plan to take a protest letter to the National Assembly demanding the regulation of the ride-hailing industry.
All right, Fisayo Durojaye, investment professional with EchoVC Partners, joins me now to discuss further. Fisayo, good morning to you. Thank you so much for joining us. This safety in Nigeria, there's the breaking news in Kaduna with the defense academy being invaded by bandits. You've got Uber drivers here lamenting about safety of the drivers. How do you see this with this report here?
I mean, I think it's sad, and I think it's not something we should just gloss over. We've always talked about the safety of passengers, but we've never really thought about the safety of the drivers. So I think that is something that, Uber Nigeria, Bolt Nigeria specifically should look into ways of handling, right? Every customer that is riding on the platform should to a large extent be known, right, by these companies themselves. And of course, there are technology providers that are able to help profile a lot of people. Right, I can start mentioning names of digital identity type platforms that help profile the people riding or doing some of these things. I mean, I can imagine being a Bolt or Uber driver, and then someone requested a ride at 10 p.m. and of course three adults male entered my car. I'll probably not pick those kind of people because again, you don't know what to expect. from such interactions. Of course, we've said a lot about drivers and passengers having altercations and issues. But of course, to a large extent, the drivers are known by the apps because they go through a series of vetting process. But of course, the minimum required for customers should be done. If it's a tourist, the minimum required for the tourist should be done. If it's a resident of Nigeria, the minimum required KYC has to be done so that when things like this happen, you can know, okay, this request was generated from this app, and this is the person, and this is how to trace the person that made this request, in the first place, and then can help, solve the problem from both sides of the marketplace rather than just one side of it.
Thank you for that, Fisayo. Let's move to this day newspaper collaboration with MTN to get the paper out to MTN's 73 million subscribers. I guess what do you make of it? I mean, as far as here's a this day physical newspaper in my hand. So we're talking about digitizing the paper now. And what do you make of that move?
I mean, I think it's inevitable, right? People consume. I mean, I've never bought a newspaper in a long time.
You haven't bought a newspaper in a long time?
In a long time, right? I remember when I was in investment banking, people, I mean, they typically drop newspapers, to our office every day. But yeah, I think it's good. But I think people consume news differently now. I'm not sure people my age or younger that typically go out to buy newspapers. Maybe my parents will still will still want to read it and then wear their glasses and just read through the papers and flip through the pages, right? But for people younger, people my age, the TikTok generation, the Gen Zs, and of course the generation after that, I don't know, Generation X, after that, I'm not sure they'll ever buy newspapers. But of course they consume, TikTok videos, they consume Instagram type videos. We see our news on Twitter before it was banned.
Yeah, exactly.
Right, and of course, I think it's interesting for this day to figure out a way. How do I deliver my content to people via chatbots, via apps that they are already used to, and I think it's some progress. It's progress in that direction. I mean, I saw that it talked about the PDF version of it. I mean, that could mean. I mean, because people don't like to read again. So if you give me a PDF document to read, I mean, it might be difficult for me to consume content that way. Maybe we might create a different way of curating or delivering the news. Maybe not as PDF document that I have to download and read on my phone. But of course, I think it's at least the right first step, and I think it's something laudable. So
the platform is changing. I want to get to the SoftBank and the Opay news. This $2 billion valuation, what kind of statement does it make about mobile payments in Africa?
I mean, I chose the color of my dress deliberately because of Opay today. Because, I mean, once you told me that we're going to be discussing Opay, I said, okay. Then we go green. Right?
Yeah, I thought it was the Nigerian flag. I thought it was a patriotic thing you're doing. All right, go ahead. So
specifically Opay.
Right.
I think that the latest unicorn, in Nigeria now after InterSwitch, Flutterwave, and of course Opay. I think it's interesting. Of course, when you see these massive rounds and of these massive valuations, there are always conversations on both sides of the marketplace to say, okay, this is great for the ecosystem, or is it detrimental to the entire ecosystem? The question is around, okay, what do you want to do what do you want to use with $400 million in African economy where people live on $1 a day, right? Does that move the needle for you? Right, that's the first question. And of course, Opay has said that they are expanding across other emerging markets, not just Nigeria. And of course, then there's a question around valuation. For a mobile payment company to be valued more than the Nigeria's biggest bank. So a lot of people would think it's overreaching.
Yeah.
I'm not sure where I see that. I think I might be, in that school of thought of people that think they might be to the largest overreaching when it comes to some of this valuation. Because today, if you ask me a question, would I rather own Opay or own GTBank? I'll gladly choose GTBank to own because, of course, technology can be replicated. Technology is not a competitive advantage, right? So I can, deploy GTBank, use the capital base, and then deploy, agency banking across. So technology is not unique to anyone, right? So I mean, the investors have to be clear about what it means to value this company at $2 billion. And of course, if you're valuing $2 billion today, for these investors in this round to make any form of returns, it means that the company has to return, $10 billion valuation to 5x their investment.
Yes.
That is a huge ask. You're asking me to create, Africa's biggest, company, from this investment. That's essentially what the bet on Opay is. Again, it's questions asked. But of course, finally on the thoughts around, okay, if you also notice the kind of investors in the round, they're not African investors, they are, international, European, Chinese investors, right? So where cost of capital, to a large extent, is lower, right, compared to what you see in Nigeria. We've seen, interest rates in the US go to zero, right? So it means that they're looking for emerging market risks, to fund and to finance. So for them, yeah, it might still be a drop in the ocean because some of these funds have billions and billions of dollars in assets under management. Opay's $400 million today is probably more than all the VC funds, the capital available to all the VC funds in Nigeria and Africa today, right? So African investors cannot afford to take some of those risks today that they're taking, right? But when investments like that happen, we have to ask ourselves, is this exciting, or should we put some cautious optimism into the way these things are done? But of course, Opay says the press $3 billion a month. $3 billion a month.
That's a high number. It's a high number.
Right? That's a lot. But of course, that's on the transaction process. The critical thing that we have to look at for is how much do they earn from those transactions?
In income, right?
In income from those
revenues, yeah.
From what I know, it's probably less than 0.5% of that, right? That's about $50 million. Then I ask myself, I multiply that by 12, does $150 million justify $2 billion valuation? The jury is out. It's not my money that was invested, but again, I think it's exciting for everybody. We can build something big and it can get support from everywhere.
Fisayo Durojaye, investment professional, EchoVC Partners. Thank you as always for talking tech with us. Always a pleasure.